This is Jeremy Howard, Donatello from the Michael Bay TMNT films, and you are listening to Justin on Epic Tales from the Sewers.
Welcome to the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. Grab yourself a slice, strap into the party wagon, and hang on tight. Give it up for your host, the totally radical, if slightly mutated, Justin.
And welcome back to our show, Epic Tales from the Sewers. I'm your most excellent host, Mr. Justin Cooper. And with me today, my guest tonight is artist Matt Flint. He's worked on books like I Brought a Gorilla to a Gunfight and the cover of the Toxic Avenger, as well as TMNT 148 and number 2 from the new Jason Aaron run. So please welcome artist Matt Flint to the show.
How's it going?
It's going good, man. We're having a good meeting. I'm glad we finally got to get you on because I've seen you at enough cons, at this point.
I know it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. So, big fan. And for the folks who are actually viewing this, you can see we've got some of Matt's artwork on for the backdrop. It's an homage to the Crisis on Infinite Earths cover with this one happens to have Raphael and April on it. And a slew of other characters if you get to see this thing in person. It's fantastic. So, it's very George Perez.
And I have the covers. Well, there's a little glare there, but
oh, heck yeah. Yeah, that's 148, right?
Yep, there's the 148. And I also dug out the there we go, less glare.
Oh,
number
man.
2.
Awesome. It's so funny too because just kind of like jumping into all of this, like that cover of number 2 is so friggin' appropriate. It's like you knew the assignment and you nailed it so much because it was so about Michelangelo and it was just like, hey man, this is what's going on in its life. He's living this lonely life, playing video games in Japan, all that. Like you crushed it, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm really happy that out of the 6 images that I sent for approval, the thumbnails that I sent to IDW for approval, they approved that one because that was the one we pushed that were like, this is for a video game convention, Retro Game Con here in Syracuse. It was one of the partners on this cover, and we were like, this has gotta be him playing video games. It's gotta be that. And when they approved that, I think that was like one of 2 out of the 6 that I sent in that they approved. I'm not 100% sure on those details now, but it was this one and at least one other one. I was like, yes. I was so excited for it.
Oh, that's so cool. And I know we're kind of jumping the shark there, but let's start at the beginning here. So
Yeah.
What's your origin with Ninja Turtles? Because you're a Ninja Turtles fan. Where do you come into the Turtles? Is it the toys? Is it the cartoon? Where does your entrance point here?
It's definitely the cartoon. More so, I grew up in a really small town, so I had barely 3 channels to watch as a kid.
Oh,
So I'd
yeah.
get like ABC, CBS, and on a good weather day, maybe NBC.
Oh, okay.
So I'd have to rely on going to the local video store and renting videos and stuff like that and VHSs. So I'd watch the same episodes of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles over and over again from renting them from the video store. But it was the cartoon. It was mostly the cartoon. I got into the comics, I would say probably around the Archie era. Whatever one had the big cow head.
Oh yeah, Cuddly the Cowlick. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So I'd go to the local pharmacy and get the comics from there, and I had no idea what was going on in the comics because I'd get an issue here, an issue there, and none of the stories really made sense. I just really enjoyed the pretty pictures. So
Well, I'm just saying, like your art, it seems somewhat inspired by like the Archie sort of designs and the proportions and all that. So
Uh, You know, as much as they probably weren't the most popular designs, they really stuck with me. Um, the one was all like black with the blue hue, and I can't remember which turtle had that, but that stuck
Raphael.
with me. I thought that was Raphael.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
that
see. I
stuck with
think
me. But
I have got his action figure right here because they finally
yeah,
made one.
that is awesome.
Yeah,
That
he's
is
really
great.
cool. The NECA figure from Ken Mitroni. So yeah, so
So little town, very little exposure to a lot of that kind of stuff. So the cartoon and definitely the early Archie comics is where I came into the turtles and loving the turtles. It wasn't until later on in life that I actually started to understand more of the lore behind the turtles.
when you were kind of coming up in this and you're a Turtles fan and all that, you had to have been a big X-Men fan, just based on what I've known about you, and kind of like.
Yes.
So where did that come about? Because we got mutants and we got mutants. So take me through your X-Men fandom too, because we need to explore this as well.
The X-Men one is probably a little bit more extensive because you could in the late 80s, early 90s, X-Men was everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Comics wise, it, it was some of the early reprints. If I had of a memory that really speaks out or stands out to me, it's when Pizza Hut partnered with Marvel and X-Men and had the promotion for the cartoon, and I think you could get like a special edition VHS
Yeah.
of the either the preview or the first like episode or two of X-Men, and I got that, and I was in love with it. I was in love with. I'm like, there's all these characters. I mean, I knew who these characters were, um, from like random issues of comics and stuff, but it was once that cartoon brought them to life, I was like, yes, this is the thing that I like.
I
So
I could tell that you were a big animated series fan because you feature a lot of Jubilee, at least that I've seen it in the art, and I'm like, this guy actually likes Jubilee, so that's really cool because I love
yeah,
Jubilee. Never gets her flowers, so
and and that cartoon is probably what solidified my love for Jubilee. Probably because she was younger, closer to my age, and she was a character I could relate to. But the the cartoon was great. My aunt, since I didn't have Fox kids growing up, my aunt would tape episodes of the X-Men and then bring me a VHS of that so I could watch it like every other week or something like that. So the first couple
I love
seasons.
that you said that. Yeah, that's. I used to have a VHS tape, and I used to tape it every Saturday at 11:30 on Fox. But I do remember that Fox we could only get if we had like the UHF ring on the TV. So I totally I know what you're saying, and I'm like, yeah, man. And you would just pray that it was a new one. That's like, oh man, don't be a rerun,
It's amazing how far we've come.
Oh yeah, you can watch every episode if you want, like right now. So
Yeah,
of all these
and
shows, of Turtles, of everything.
and I have. You bet that I've gone through the X-Men at least once.
Nice. Are you watching X-Men 97 and all that too?
Yeah, the new season hasn't dropped, right?
No, no, I think it drops in
Oh,
June.
okay, cool. Every once in a while I feel like I'm missing a show because I don't have as much time as I used to watch
Yeah.
things. But no, X-Men 97 was great. It was a great sequel to the original series. So I'm enjoying it. I think the animation, if anything, I'm enjoying the animation
Oh yeah,
more than the
yeah.
show itself.
I could totally see that because it's so clean and just like looking at it, you're like, this is just something special and different. And man, did they make Cyclops cool. You know?
Yes, yeah, that opening sequence of him just coming out of the Blackbird and using his blast to just like bring himself to the ground. Oh man, that was
So
that was
cool.
great.
That's so cool. And I mean, like talking about X-Men with Turtles is incredibly similar. because we've got another team book with supposedly teenagers, maybe a little bit older on the X-Men, but they're mutants and they're mutants. They're outcasts of society, a lot of similar themes and things like that, prejudice against them, got to stay hidden, things. So it's like there's a lot of overlapping themes between them. It's
Yeah.
very, very surprising to me they've not crossed over yet, but we got the X-Men and Star Trek. We got that. So,
Yeah.
you know.
And a couple of years ago, I went through the entire series of Star Trek because I realized that how little of Star Trek I've seen. So I had just gotten done watching Enterprise, and I realized I never watched the original series or anything like
Oh,
that.
come on. Yeah.
So I watched pretty much everything as much in chronological order as I possibly could.
So this
It,
is interesting to me because behind you, it looks like you have Ahsoka Tano on a poster back there. So you're obviously a Star Wars fan.
yep.
So as a Star
Ahsoka.
Wars fan, how does Trek play into that lore?
You know, I still think that in a perfect world, the world of Star Trek and Star Wars could coexist in one universe. They were just vastly different and vastly apart. Like they just haven't met yet. But
Okay.
I I like the political tones of Star Trek, and I like what they've just the overall lore of it and the idea of this world came to be because the US went into like a deep dark nuclear war and figured out that they needed to do something better, and that's when the Vulcans decided that we could learn how to do warp and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like there's such a very human element to Star
Oh yeah.
Trek, and definitely mirrors the world as we live in it. Star Wars, I like the fact that Star Wars, I can just turn off my brain and not have to think. Like, I mean, I
Yeah.
know that there's mirrors of the world as we know it, but you can also turn that off and just
There's also Wookiee,
enjoy.
you know?
Yeah, you can enjoy a space battle with laser swords and characters like Ahsoka because she's my number one.
Really? Oh wow. Okay.
So it used to be Boba Fett back when it was before it was cool to like Boba Fett. It
I,
was
I
only
grew
kind
up
of cool.
I grew up in the 80s too. I know because I remember seeing that send away figure with the firing missile, and you're like, wow, that's like the coolest thing I've ever seen. And then like,
Yeah,
Kenner released those little 3.5-inch figures and the 12-inch figures, and I had a buddy who was like obsessed with Star Wars. So dude, Boba Fett looks cool. He's got like Magneto's helmet almost.
yeah. And I grew up also reading like the Young Jedi Knights book series and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yep.
And Boba Fett comes back in that, and he kind of becomes like a quasi good guy. I heard later on, because I didn't read all the books, I heard that there was other things involved with that too, and I'm like, you know, the extended universe was so vast that I couldn't keep up with it. But
Yeah. I
um,
remember something like the searching for the right hand glove of Darth Vader as a symbol of power or
yeah,
something. Like
yeah,
oh man, I lost it after that. I was like, this is cool, but there's a lot. And this guy is definitely Robert Downey Jr. on the cover. You
but right. But watching the Clone Wars when because I didn't watch that when it first came out. It was like years later that I finally watched the Clone Wars animated show, and I'm like, who is Ahsoka Tano and why is she so annoying?
know.
By the time I got done watching that, I'm like, Ahsoka Tano might be one of the best introduced characters into the Star Wars universe. And on my second time watching it, I'm like, you know what? She may be my favorite character.
That's awesome. So that's the perspective character, like Jubilee. So you're kind of
Yeah,
connected with that entry character. So that's really cool, man. That's cool.
yeah.
So it's a little bit of crossover there. So, you know.
I feel like out of all Star Wars, we get more of her lore than anyone because Dave Filoni just built her from scratch, and like you don't you basically get to watch her grow up and become an adult if you watch it all in the right way. And
Oh,
I'm like that. I've even read the Ahsoka Tano book. I forgot who wrote it, but it was uh it was part of the new Disney era, but I still think they retconned it a little bit. But it was kind of the story on how she got the white kyber crystals for her dual sabers there.
is she the
But
only one that has two say? And I know this isn't a Star Wars show, but I just don't know as much about her. Is she the only one that has like two sabers and the only one who has white, or is it like she has two and other people have two?
as far as I know, she's the only one
Yeah.
that has white. As far as two, mm, only one that comes to mind as I'm looking at like my Ahsoka Tano action figures on the wall. Um,
Nice.
only one that comes to mind, but I don't. It gets a little muddied up with like Maul and having the dual bladed lightsabers and everything. So
I mean,
uh,
technically his was cut in half, right? So
yeah, yeah.
so I guess if
So
it
was
still worked, that's fine, but so
that was cut in half, and so was he.
yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. So man, that's crazy. No,
Yeah,
never know what we'll
I
talk about. It's interesting. Yeah. And I mean it's all like within that lore too, in that era, the late 70s, early 80s, which gave us the Turtles and Star Wars in the same. And I mean,
yeah.
Turtles took from Star Wars so much, you know.
Oh, right, totally. I mean, I think everything that we're kind of a fan of kind of takes from Star Wars in some way or another. Like the, all of this is a 6 degrees of Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, Technodrome, kind of, right? Like it's right
That
there in your face. You're like, this is the Death Star, guys. You know.
right. A,
So
a
yeah,
band a band of misfits, of different backgrounds and or different tastes and interests, all kind of coming together to overcome an evil. Like there's
mhm.
tropes. There's definitely tropes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So
But
yeah, it's funny. I mean, I knew that that was based on the Death Star, but it's like you don't think about it, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of the Death Star, but it's on wheels and it has a giant eyeball on top. You're like, oh
yeah.
yeah, that's kind of on the nose. You know,
I mean also when we're younger, we're just like all of this looks cool.
yeah,
So
it's totally the rule of cool. Absolutely. That's why half the mutants from the show and all that were just so cool. You know,
right. You,
were
you
you an
had
action
your
figure guy with the turtles? Did
yes.
you collect them?
Yeah, I think I had most of the original line. I mean, did I open them up and beat the crap out of them? Sure.
Oh, good.
Uh,
Yeah.
so I think I had all four turtles. I had Shredder, April, um, Bebop, Rocksteady, all like basically the whole line. I vividly remember the Baxter Stockman toy.
Oh yeah, the fly. Yep.
Yeah. I don't think you could break that toy. I think that you could break someone's head by throwing that toy at their head, but
Yeah, he was pretty solid. And he had like the
yeah,
spiky hair, so absolutely.
yeah. But it was such a cool design though. Um, and I also had one of my favorite Turtles characters, which is a side character, Mona Lisa.
Oh yeah, and that's the commission that I got from you was a Mona
Yeah,
Lisa. So I have that in a
yep,
sketchbook. Huh.
yep. So um, she was always one of my favorites. I today I could not tell you why, and we're gonna cycle back around to Mona Lisa later on. There's I think I've told you about this before, but we're gonna cycle around back to Mona Lisa and
Okay,
how she
okay.
inspired me. So
Yeah. No, I
but
I can understand where you're going there. So that's
yeah,
pretty good. So
yeah, and yeah, at some point I think there's just so many toys that came out that like my mom was just like, yeah, you're not getting more of these, but
Yeah,
But
that's how it
I
was for me. It's like you would have to like get them for like a holiday or your birthday or something like that, and that would be the only way.
yeah, and I I wish I had like been one of those kids where I could have been like, I'm gonna buy two of them, one to open up and one to keep in the package, because I could probably fund a small fortune off from them now. But
Yeah, right. Yeah. I don't think I have any originals in package. I've got like some of the remakes that they did, but I have like some like I keep some of them. Like I got a Punker Don here, you know.
oh, that's cool.
He's usually close by, and just some of the others, but I've gotten into the NECA stuff, like the new stuff there, and Last
The
Ronin,
NECA
and yeah.
the NECA stuff is pretty cool, especially when I see it when I like go into Target or something like that. I have behind me somewhere in my infinite mess that I call my studio. I have some loose figures. I think everything else is back at my mom's house, back where I grew up.
You must
And
have the Mona Lisa though, right?
I'm sure I still do. I don't know if she still has her tail, but I do have it, just not here. I know for a fact I still have that. Matter of fact, the paint on her hair, I think, started rubbing off.
That's cool. It's cool to have like one of those rarer characters like it to begin with, but then to be like,
Hmm.
oh, that's one of my like favorites and stuff. I used to be all about like Usagi Yojimbo and Space Usagi, Pandacon, and Walkabout, the kangaroo guy. I love
Mm.
those. Like I could have I got to a point where I'm like, I could take or leave the turtles. Walkabout's my guy. I just
Yeah.
love that dude. So
Speaking
I
of
totally, yeah.
Speaking of PandaCon, didn't someone just recently get back the rights to use PandaCon?
Yes, yeah. They did. So
So
there's going to be a series coming out, and I believe it's like a cartoon series or something.
so when I did the background image here,
Mhm.
um, we originally this because the background image was originally going to be the cover for issue 148,
Oh yeah.
and that was before we'd gotten the rule book of what we could and couldn't do. And I was pretty sure that there was going to be a rule book, but they never sent one, so I didn't get it. And so I went ahead and I drew this because the idea was we were going to do a Death of Supergirl homage. One of the seven characters they picked from this background image was Panda Khan, and they're like, we can't use Panda Khan because they did not have the rights to Panda Khan at the time. Um,
Wow.
so I was just like, oh,
Well, Monty Moose was okay.
yeah, yeah.
He was actually in that issue, I think. He was in 148. He may have been.
He he may have been strict. They say I always say this when people talk about comic books. I'm like, do you have time to read your comic books?
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
to anyone that may have image or access to this image, though, they had a problem with Jenica being in there because I was mixing whatever characters I could. The Some of the 2003 characters were back there. Um, but they didn't catch I made an Easter egg of Alfred from Batman. They didn't catch that.
Oh, okay.
Um, he is he's somewhere right beneath April, but um,
We probably can't see him there, but so he's
no,
down here.
yeah, but you can see Jenica in above his shoulder. You see
Yep.
the moose. Yeah, he Alfred's down in the bottom, and I also put Usagi Yojimbo's legs down there too. Uh,
Ah.
but above like the very top layer, I also put in my cat girl character Chloe, and they never caught that either.
Oh, okay.
So
And it
just
looks like there was a certain Mortal Kombat ninja in there as well. So
uh there was something in there. I
yeah.
I threw a few Easter eggs in there. So anyone that may have this image, if you go back and look through it, you'll find it. We released it as a limited print, um, of which I think I have the last few remaining, but the image was too good to not use it for something. So,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's why I was looking at it and I'm like, oh, this is so cool.
and the final image is actually has added characters to it than the original pencils as well, because I kind of balanced it out digitally with adding some extra characters.
No kidding.
Yep.
So the
Yep.
final print does have PandaCon.
I think I left I left PandaCon in the print. I was like, nah, I'm I'm releasing this myself, so whatever.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. That's so
But
cool. That's a good story about this too. So it's because it's a
yeah,
fun little image. So yeah,
it
I like
it
that.
it is. So I mean, it was unfortunate that in the end we couldn't officially use it for the 148 cover, but I do like for the 148 cover that it was just 100% my idea because I had 3 weeks to come up with something. And I studied all of the IDW covers, saw what they liked, and I had the rule book at that time, so I was just like, oh, okay, this is what they want.
Now, where did you pull your designs from? Because you've got kind of pieces of a lot, and like it's not like all of this or all of that, but it's like I can see a little bit of Dan Duncan. I can see a little bit of maybe Mateus Santaluco, but like looking at your art style in general, not turtles related, and we've talked about this before. Joe Madureira, Humberto Ramos. I'd say the guy that did Creed, Trent Canagara, a little bit of
Yeah,
that,
yeah, I
and
do like
and
Trent.
Chris Bocciolo. Like that's kind of where I see like the anime inspiration. Am I off base? Am I like I know the Madureira,
No,
but like okay.
no, if anything, I would add in there a little bit of Michael Turner,
Oh
um,
wow, yeah.
a little bit of you got me thinking a little bit of J. Scott Campbell in there,
Okay,
and
yeah.
then the one that really offsets it, Adam Warren. Uh,
Oh.
uh,
I would have thought Greg Capullo a little bit, but
Actually, I didn't look at Greg Capullo's stuff much until way later in life,
okay.
but the vision of turtles I kind of had in my head mixed with my art style kind of the designs kind of come a little bit more from the 2003 cartoon.
Yep, yep. Okay.
Um, just mixed with like again all of my style points that I've pulled from all of all of those names you've mentioned above because I've studied all of those guys. So
And you're definitely rounder, right? Using like round lines instead of like the sort of harsher boxy versions of like the 2003 turtles. So it's like your
yeah,
stuff it has movement to it, I'll say. Is what it looks like to me.
yeah, I like the it's like a I don't even know how to describe the shape of how I draw a turtle head, but like so I've it's kind of it's kind of like a get that up close there. It's
Oh
kind of like
yeah.
a round oval um
It's like
kind of
Superman's
thing.
shield a little bit, in that.
Yeah, almost, yeah. It's kind of like a weird, yeah, like a weird pentagon or like a oddly shaped hexagon. But um, I don't know. I forget I forget the exact thing that inspired that shape, but it had to have been me just looking at a lot of turtles art, and I'm like, I didn't like certain heads. I mean, I liked the way that they tackled it in the newer IDW runs. I thought the artwork looked great, but I'm just like, there's got to be a better way to make that shape and still have it like as soon as you see it, you know it's turtles.
Hmm.
Um, so I kind of pulled my own unique kind of shape to it.
I was talking to Ben Bishop not too long ago, and he said that every time he showed something to Kevin Eastman, Kevin would go wider, wider, make the head wider, wider, like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, That's interesting perspective from the Grandmaster, you know? Like make it
Yeah,
like because then you get to a point where it's like, what is this? Like I don't know, man. Like we're getting into like crazy action figure that's stretched out. So it's like there's got to be a good medium to that. And I
e-
like the turtles when they look like sleek and athletic. I like that
me
look.
t- me too. And honestly, going back because I didn't know a whole lot about Jenica's backstory, and I wanted to educate myself on her a little bit before I drew her and had a cover with her. And boy, have ever had to answer questions when people do take a look at this cover. There's just like there's a fifth turtle. Um,
Like 7 of them,
it,
guy.
yeah, and I give them the backstory, but I think about her design though, and she does have like a sleeker, smaller look to her, and I'm like, is that? I'm not sure if it's because she's supposed to be female or if it's just because of the way she mutated, but she's got like a smaller, rounder head, more like a Ben Bishop type of way of drawing the head. It's not. It's probably about the same width, but it's rounder. It's very strange. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
ever picked up on that before, but
Well, she definitely doesn't look completely one-to-one scale identical. Like absolutely I agree with you, you know, and there's things that are often different about her, but like you said, it's she was a person before this. She was kind of a gaunt, skinny, head shaved blonde girl who was a punk, and
yeah,
she's kind of cool, you know,
yeah,
but like her design is just like as a human she would look different like if she mutated than the other turtles, maybe not like the really skinny Donatello in the new one, like because she's really skinny, so maybe she looked closer to that, who knows. but um
right.
but yeah,
And
she was like athletic and acrobatic and all that, so she would look different, I think.
it, if I had to compare to any of the other four, it would be Donatello, just that slightly skinnier, sleeker look. Um, I mean, it also doesn't look like she has as big of a shell and or like a more of like a deformed shell too. So there may be lore on that, and I don't know it because again, you guys have time to read comics? Question mark.
Yeah. I don't know that they cover that in the source book, to be honest with you. So that might be a question one day that I'll ask Tom Waltz and just be like, "Is there anything different about Jenica's shell?" And I'll keep that in mind. It's a great
Yeah.
question because
Yeah.
Donatello has a replacement shell from when he got it crushed by Rocksteady. So
Mhm.
he's got a completely different shell. So that's a whole different thing, and all the trauma that comes along with that. You know.
And they introduced in that series Venus de Milo too, right? As like
They
a
did, yeah.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, so
Uh,
so she was built with portions of Donatello's shell, so she had like some turtle DNA, but she was a mutated girl that was a frog, and then she was mutated with like those parts like Frankenstein added on and stuff. But
the
she's really an interesting character too, and
and
plays a prominent part in issue 148, I might add. So
then that's what I thought. Again, it's pretty bad that like again I have not been able to read comics, but
you're an artist,
uh,
dude. I talk to artists all the time, and you're like,
yeah,
I draw, man. And I'm like, I get it. Yes.
but I still probably wouldn't have even gotten the backstory, the full backstory. I probably would have gone down a Wikipedia rabbit hole trying to like be like, give me all the information I need. But visually though, she looks different than all the rest of them. I mean, that makes sense that she used to be a
Oh yeah.
frog mixed
Hmm.
in with parts and all that stuff in Frankenstein, but she like when she's when they show her fully together or whatever, she's got a much different silhouette than Jenica, who has a much different silhouette than the other turtles. So,
It's
but
cool. It's I like that you are like into some of these characters too, because it's like a lot of the fandom is just like, oh, I either like them or I don't or something like that. But it's like you're embracing this, and you even put them on as like bonus features in your artwork and all that. So that's really cool. And
I
just
think
like from a design standpoint, you're like, Jenica's cool. I'm like, yeah, she is, dude. Yeah.
I mean she's kind of like female Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Wolverine with her claws and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And I mean, it's cool that she used to be an assassin. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
So anyone that doesn't like it, like, I'm sorry, but that's kind of cool. I think side characters sometimes are more fascinating than the main characters of the story.
So this is interesting too because I know you're an anime fan, right? You have to be
Yes.
an anime fan.
I,
So
s- Going back to growing up,
yeah.
later years in life, I went from having barely three channels to direct TV.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we didn't have comics. Like we had comics during the Age of Apocalypse era. So there's the Joe Madureira, there's the that era of artists, the Chris Bacalo and all that stuff. But what we did have a lot of was video games and anime on
Mm-hmm.
DirecTV. So Sci-Fi Channel having Saturday morning anime blew
I
my
remember
mind.
it well. Yeah. Wow, Vampire Hunter D. What else do you got?
Vampire Hunter D, Akira, Iria, which is probably like the most unsung anime of that was ever shown on that.
She
It
has
was
like
like
a bow and arrow, right? Something
no,
like
she had like a white and black suit, red hair, and like with like a couple like beads coming off from it, and she had like a huge like shotgun. She was a bounty hunter.
oh, that's
And
way different than what I was thinking. Okay.
and the and this monster, she was chasing around this monster that killed her brother. And then what he does was instead of like fully killing people, he absorbed them, and he had like the big like old school like villain Japanese hat looking head with a little tiny face in the middle of it that could like kind of come out and bite you. It wild anime, but it was one of the most imaginative things that I've ever seen because they just drop you right into the middle of the story, and they have like this whole like intergalactic world and everything. It's very fascinating, but it's also like 4 hours long.
Oh wow, yeah. No, I don't know that. I
Uh,
mean, I'm a big fan of vintage stuff. I don't remember watching that one, but I've seen some wild stuff too. So, and I mean, starting with that Saturday morning anime, we had a buddy that used to make us like mixtapes with like VHS. So it'd be like, hey, this is the professional, Go 13 with Akira, Ghost in the Shell, and I don't know, Fist of the North Star. Go at it. So I'm like, all right, let's digest this. And it's like, what? I shouldn't be watching this, but I
Go,
did.
Ghost in the Shell definitely changed everything.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Once
absolutely.
I saw that because on DirecTV you could buy it on pay-per-view, and then I was like, well, what else do they have on pay-per-view? And I watched a few of them, and then I was allowed to buy one called Ninja Scroll.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The first time I watched Ninja Scroll, after the first 5 minutes, I realized I'm not ready for this yet.
I mean,
uh,
you could say that on so many levels though, because if it's not like the hardcore nudity, the hardcore violence, there's also someone that shoots spiders out of holes in their back. I'm not ready for that.
so I came back to Ninja Scroll probably like a year later, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Like
it's a lot to take in. Yeah.
going back to the Joe Madureira influence. I actually read an interview where he's like, Ninja Scroll is the best thing ever, and I'm like, well, if he's saying it, I gotta give this a try. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, I don't know if I can handle like people getting their heads cut in half, but so I went back to it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can handle this. This is fine. I've grown up enough that I can handle straight up murder, but so
Well, I mean, it's
uh
it's different too because even comics at the time, right? Like we have, Turtles in the 80s is like darker and grittier, but it wasn't as graphic as like Spawn from like 1991, where it's like you've got a guy hanging up getting killed with popsicle sticks and stuff. So it's like that was jarring, at the time. So that was kind of something that was like, oh, even comics are not what anime is. So I could understand that completely.
Right. And I mean, if anything, if we really had to compare some stuff like Ninja Scroll to today, I don't know how, like, if you're caught up on it, but Invincible,
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah, I'm caught up.
what?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, wow. That one episode, few episodes back there, won't spoil it for anyone
Holy
watching it.
crap.
That that made me uncomfortable. Like, and I'm like, nothing makes me uncomfortable. And the sounds and the visuals from that, I'm like, that is uncomfortable. That was almost as uncomfortable as the introduction to Negan,
Oh yeah,
to The
yeah.
Walking Dead.
That's
And I'm
a lot
like,
of people talk about that as that's their jump off point for the series. Where they're like, I'm just good,
it, I stuck through The Walking Dead. I did give it like a couple year break, and then me and my wife we caught up on it because we watched it together, and I g- I get why people kind of jumped off from it afterwards, only for the sheer fact that the story kind of just really dragged itself out. But
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm 7 seasons into this. I am all in on this. So
It's funny how that dovetails. Like you've got, Glenn from Walking Dead is the voice of Mark on Invincible, right?
yeah.
And you brought up Invincible. Dan Duncan, who was the first artist on the IDW series, from 2011, is one of the producers and the showrunners for Invincible. So he's got his hands in there too. So, you're
Okay. Okay.
6 degrees of separation. Like you're right there, dude.
And I mean, the animation, where we've taken animation today is just it's so wild, and that is actually going to bring me into the 2000, what year was it? 2018 was when the animated series that no one really cared for the designs came out.
Oh, you're talking about Rise?
Yes, Rise.
Yeah,
Was that
Rise of the
2000?
TMNT. That was 2018. Yep.
I resisted watching it as well because like most people, didn't like the initial designs that came out until someone convinced me to watch it. And I'm like, you know, that might be the second best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series out there.
Wow, that's high praise. That's really high praise. I
So,
will say this,
I,
it is gorgeously animated. Like you can't deny that looking at it. You're like, this looks like freaking amazing animation.
and that is the number one reason I will put it way up there. I'm not an animator myself, but I know what it takes to animate things. I went I went to college for 3D animation. I kind of like watched the how to animate, movies and stuff like that. So I understand it. And
Hmm.
the fact that they were able to animate all of the action in that so beautifully and so expressively, I've still never seen that done in another animated show yet.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that. I was a big fan of when Wolverine and the X-Men came out because I thought it's like, wow, the action looks great on this. If you
Hmm.
compare that to Rise, Rise is like so much farther ahead of you're like, wow, this just looks really good. And
I still I still think Rises leagues above, better than most things that are even coming out that are brand new today. So
that's crazy. The movie was really cool. I'll be honest with you, like the whole story and all that, it's not my favorite version, but I don't think it's
no,
bad. I don't think it's bad. It's not
and
like next mutation level, like some people put it.
no, but man, was it fun. And the whole series was fun because most of it was like 15-minute episodes. You didn't have to have a whole lot of attention
Hmm.
into it, and it was just everything was fun. Every once in a while, maybe the slapstick humor got a little much, but then like when you're like, "Oh, okay, that's enough of that," then they just brought you back in with a kick-ass action sequence. So
Yeah, absolutely. So
And you're
do
just
you
like,
ever do Rise drawings? Like I didn't see any on your Instagram, but do you have like a Rise Donnie poster?
no, no, not yet.
Oh, you
That
should, man. Like Rise Donnie would be the one that you'll sell out of at your next show.
when I got this gig, I kind of just got into my way of doing turtles, and that's kind of where I sat. I was like, I have my signature way of doing turtles. I don't want to mess around with it by trying to draw like the Rise characters, because I feel like I'll try to just pull too much from their style. But maybe I'll give that a shot. Maybe I'll give that a shot before I get to Terrificon this year, and we'll see where that goes.
Now you're a writer yourself, and you do some of your own work too. Can you talk about like your projects? Because I know we mentioned at the beginning here, I brought a gorilla to a gunfight, but also like you've got kind of like I would say you've got like a cast of characters, like and a lot of like really cool, interesting female characters too. And now knowing how much you like Ahsoka, this is kind
Mhm.
of making a little bit more sense to me of like where this comes from. But can we talk about those?
Okay, so I brought a gorilla to a gunfight. I think I will be having the script for issue 2 of that soon. So that'll be the long-awaited issue 2. Uh,
Is that
I
technically
ha
a kaiju western? Like, what's the genre?
I would consider it fantasy western.
Okay,
Basically the idea is Penny is a blonde bombshell bounty hunter in the West. She's very attractive, and she partners up with Moki, who is a African lowland gorilla. But he's supposed to be 8 foot tall, but I definitely drew him to be a little bit bigger. And she can kind of ride him like a horse,
that's
like
awesome.
on his back and everything. And she's out looking for a bounty. We introduce Moki by kind of crashing through a bar. Like the whole first half of the issue just takes place in a bar, and it was it was very interesting to draw that many pages in one scene and have it work out. And I also actually, for those of you that like to look for little clues and everything, I introduce a character myself in this book that will have more of an impact. She's almost an Easter egg background thing that will have more of an impact later on in issues, because I've kind of redesigned the character now, and it's going to be fun. And that doesn't give anything away. So
So, will this be a spin-off book for you?
we've talked about that. I gotta sit down and talk with Mike Gibson, the writer, a little bit more, because ultimately it's his creation. But if 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 he wants to explore other things in that world, and I can find a way to make her character kind of spin off in my own, then I am interested in doing my own spin off story with her. So
Heck yeah.
we're we're gonna talk about that. Other upcoming projects. I have an anthology that I was invited to be a part of. It's gotten delayed a little bit. I created my own rock star character. He's kind of like a rock star demon homage to like characters like Hellboy and Lobo and stuff like that. So he's got like the red skin, but he's got like the big anime Goku hair, coupled, you know, I just threw everything in the kitchen sink at this guy.
I like
Um,
him already.
and he is kind of like Johnny Bravo, and goes out. He loves women, but he's also a giant kaiju slayer. So I plan on doing other little, like, it's a 6 issue story, or 6 issue 6 page story. I plan on doing other little stories with him. So you're gonna see uh probably more of him after or around this anthology when it comes out. And I wrote, and this is my second time writing. So I wrote, drew, inked the story, and it's colored by my colorist on I Brought a Gorilla to a Gunfight, Michael Woods.
Oh, nice. You know, I was
Which
surprised too that you said you had a colorist, because seeing the work that you have like in person when I'm at your shows, I'm like, you have a really good idea of color. You know, like you're really good at that.
you know, I've been told that before, and everything that I do with color has just been completely self-taught.
Mhm.
And so I've really never had any formal training with color. I've just like most things, I'm like, I'm just gonna teach myself, and hopefully people like it. So
Do you paint at
um
all? Like, are you like formerly a painter? Like, what's your medium that you studied?
so I started off with colored pencil. I was never really good with paint. I do have a little sitting in front of my desk here. I have like a little watercolor set. Can't get it open
Oh
right now,
yeah,
but
cool.
um
So just for when you
I,
get like that inspiration at work.
I or I mean I can travel with that thing. I don't usually use it for professional work because I'm a novice at that. My main medium, especially for the last 10 years, are alcohol markers. Um,
Hmm.
I can mix medium with them with colored pencils. I just actually did a color commission for someone, an Obi-Wan commission, where I kind of mixed um, the marker with the colored pencils. So I the color me having a colorist and access to a colorist is mostly due to time constraints,
Oh,
honestly.
yeah, I can absolutely understand that. So,
Um, when I got hired on for I Brought a Gorilla to a Gunfight, the original talk was like, well, can you color the pages? And the answer was, I will definitely not have enough time to do that because it will take like 3 years for this book to come out if I'm coloring it. But
but you
um,
could if you had to. You could.
I I could in for those of you that follow me on Instagram or haven't followed me on Instagram, I do have a one-page story featuring my wrestling character, Mindy Starr. Um, I created her as like a generic, like almost New Japan type indie wrestler, and I have a page of her. The idea is that she's getting her opponent, and there's a big punchline for the night, and the the last panel is the punchline. So you guys can go back and find it and get a good laugh out of it.
That sounds
Um,
awesome.
so technically, if we really wanted to get technical, this 6-page storyline was my third time writing, but
It's fantastic. Like, how does it feel to be an artist with published work? You know, like, and you're part of the pantheon of Turtles artists now. Like, you're immortalized in print forever.
right. It, it's it's cool. It definitely has a certain uh gratification to it. I try to manage the feeling, I guess. If you want, like, all right, cool, I got here. This was the goal,
Hmm.
but can I do this again? Um, and and I'll swing back around to that feeling. Uh, well, with the turtles, well, we'll swing back around to that when Quintara Stone came out, which was my first nationally published work. I did cover B to issue 1, and I had to, or Keenspot told the creator that I had to take a back seat and be cover B because originally I was cover A. And that got released nationally, and my cover sold out. Midtown Comics and a few others, and I was just like, really? Why? Ken Lashley has cover A.
Oh, come
I,
on.
I,
That is a
in
powerhouse.
in my my cover selling out at Midtown Comics, that is crazy. That just didn't even seem real at all. So, we fast forward to then I did issue 3 for Quintara Stone, which I got invited to do a backstory in the issue, and when they gave me the script, it ended up being 20 pages out of 23 pages, and I'm like,
That's a
this is the
backstory?
this is the whole issue. And they're like, oh, oops. So I got to draw the whole backstory, and then I was like, well, if I'm going to do the whole backstory, can I be cover A? And someone somewhere saw it my way. But so that got nationally published as well, and that hit comic shops across the nation. And I was just like, my interiors and my cover are out there. That is something I didn't think was going to happen ever. Like, not that quick, I should say. That was what, 2022, somewhere
So
around
this is
there.
a relatively new journey for you then, huh?
Yeah, yeah. It was definitely like coming out of the pandemic. But I did have my first writing and interior credits before that, called Robot Dreams. That that came out during the pandemic, but it was made right before. It was a part of a anthology. You can actually find that one on Amazon, because they used Amazon Publishing to put it out. But
Oh, okay.
it was called Robot Dreams. Forgot what the bottom tag of it was, but it's a l- local upstate New York creators, all did like little tiny stories and got those together, and they made it into one book. And I did, again, original character. She's an android, kind of caught in a time loop, and it was interesting. It was interesting, and I realized I didn't know anything about making comics, and now I'm definitely a lot more versed. I think I don't know what I learned and how I learned it, but I definitely did. So
Trial by fire. Yeah.
yeah. So and that's pretty much my whole art career, is trial by fire. Like, we're gonna get right in the middle of it and figure it out. So um but but yeah, that all of that led me to getting up to the Turtles, getting the Turtles exclusive cover. And when that hit, and the reception, because this 148 was, it was a partnership between, I'll pull it out right here, show
Was that
that
about
off. It was a
two
part,
2 years ago, right?
yeah, spring of 2024. It was a partnership between Funky Town Comics and Vinyl and Syracuse Collectors Con.
Nice.
and, and
Great,
we
great logos.
Yeah, yeah. I love the guys over at Funky Town. We're we should be working on something here in the near future, where we're talking about that now. Probably won't be Turtles related, but it's still going to be fun.
What's
Um,
the dream project? An X-Men book?
oh my God, just any Marvel title would be phenomenal. But I have a list of books that I think would be fun, and they're doable. I would love to do like a Red Sonja and Vampirella, uh, because
That'd be cool.
especially the characters, they're curvy, they're all that kind of stuff. I have an idea for one, actually. It's all done. We'll see what happens with it. But the reception to 148, though, blew me away. Like, excuse me, when this came out and I saw it in print, I'm like, holy crap, I am on a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
That's
cover.
so
This
cool.
is this is crazy. Like, uh, you know, 7 to 10 year old me would be like, wouldn't believe it. Wouldn't believe that one of my scribbles got on a cover for this title. I was ecstatic.
And
And
you got in before the series ended.
Yeah, yeah, and that, I mean, that was one of my worries, was like, it's 148. Will people even care? All that, like, all of a sudden the doubt starts creeping in your head. But we dropped it at Syracuse Collectors Con, and it was a Turtles themed con. We had every vendor had something, almost something Turtles. We had um, Steve Levine there as a
Oh, that was
guest.
probably Bull Ayers was probably there with Steve Levine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bull Ayers was there. I actually know, I'm pretty good friends with one of the guys at Bull Ayers.
Do you know
Um,
Gary?
Gary. Yep, Gary.
Shout
Gary.
out to Gary.
Shout out to Gary. Gary lives in the same city I do. So,
Oh, okay.
uh,
I know you are then. Yeah.
yep. So, um, we had most of the cast of the original movie there. Um, we there was a lot of guests there, and a lot of people came. A lot of people picked up the book. I spent all day talking. I'm talking about this cover, or just talking in general to fans. It was like, I've never had anything like that still yet to this day. That was a crazy experience, and I was just like, oh, I feel like I am one of the celebrities. So it was kind of like a weird, overwhelming feeling, and that was just something I was not used to. And yeah, I won't forget that.
That's so cool. That is just
Yeah,
awesome.
like,
And you
first,
have like a trade dress variant of that book too. Without the title on it and all that.
the Virgin, yeah.
Yeah.
The Virgin, I officially sold out of my copies a while ago. Not like, towards the end of last year, I think. So all that you're probably going to find too much of out there now is this one with the trade
Such a
dress.
great
So
cover.
so um yeah, so we did 700 trade dress, 500 Virgin. Uh, with the partnership with number two, it was just all trade dress. So they're limited to 1,200. And going back to that rock, almost rock star celebrity feeling, when we dropped the number two at Retro Game Con here in Syracuse, um, that also felt like it was like another, like, crazy weird thing happening, because the same convention, we had six Baldur's Gate 3 voice
Yeah.
actors.
Man, they
And
draw the lines, don't they? Wow.
so that show was the first time, I think, a Syracuse convention had 12, I think they said about 12,000 attendees at it. And you want to talk about me never stopping talking? I By the time Sunday night came around, I couldn't talk. Like, I was too busy trying to talk over convention noise, that I kind of lost my voice. So
How crazy is that? I was telling someone at the last con that I was at that you can only ever hope to capture about 10% of any population at any sort of event like this, right? So even
right,
if even if that's for you 1,200 people that you spoke with, holy crap. I mean, as opposed to like 12,000, just 10%. Like that's absurd. It's like a
yeah,
lot. You know,
yeah,
there's only so much time you have. You know,
right,
I,
right. And it it was a crazy, crazy show. Like, I had my fan, I had my paint marker, so I was signing these, and I always sign this book up here. Shout out to King Judge and whatnot. We call this the King Judge window.
nice.
He was the first person to get it signed, and he wanted it signed up here, so we've named this the King Judge window.
That's sick.
Uh,
Yeah.
a super awesome dude. If you guys are on whatnot, give him a follow, because he's a great dude. So
That's so cool,
Um,
man. Like,
yeah. So there's a lot of stories and a lot of emotions centered around these two covers that they're just like they were definitely the turning point in my career. And
so
now
far.
so far. Um, and this year started off pretty good. I've talked to a few people now about potential things coming up in the future. So, um, and if those things don't come to fruition, we're gonna cycle back around to Mona Lisa and her
Hmm.
influence on a design. So I have an idea for a book, and I'll give you guys like an idea of what I want to do. I have a character. Her name is Danny. Excuse me. She is an alien from an alien race. She comes from you know, I haven't named the planet yet or anything, but her alien race is invading the Earth, and this Earth is set in kind of like a retro future setting. So it's like an old town. I would say it's like loosely based out of like 80s, 90s. So, you got like some modern nuances, like some people have cell phones and stuff like that.
But
Um,
there's a lot of jean jackets and mullets, and
jean jackets, mullets, definitely grounded. I want to have like I want to have the car from Better Off Dead in there.
oh hell yeah.
Because speaking of influences and everything, Better Off Dead is my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, that's a cool one. Where's my
Yeah,
$2?
yeah. And it's not even for the $2. I just think John Cusack's character and that is just a very likable character, and just the overall setting. Everything that happens in that movie is just phenomenal and entertaining. Like especially as
I'm
a
a
little
big fan of
brother.
Charles Demar. He's my absolute hero.
Yeah, yeah.
Your
But
power.
his little brother assembling a laser kit that actually works is the most ridiculous thing ever.
Oh yeah,
Um, and just the overall humor is just, but so
it's a
I
great
want
it's a
to
movie.
I want it set in a world kind of like that, but like maybe like some of the ritzier people have cell phones or something like that, with some modern nuances, so it's not fully like, hey, this is confined to like 1988. No, I wanted to be kind of timeless, but just have that retro vibe to it. And it's small town, uh, group of early 20 somethings, maybe late teenagers, kids that they have nothing to do. Like I grew up in a town quite like that. They have nothing to do, and
So
they're
they go out
out.
and cause trouble.
They're out causing trouble. They're playing with some family dollar style laser guns out in the woods or something. End up accidentally thwarting the alien invasion with laser tag guns, essentially, like
Oh, I
just
love that.
completely obliterating their ship. And I'm not even giving much of the story away by this, but Danny, the alien, she finds a way to survive it. She becomes friends with them. I kind of want to be like a friend adventure type book, um, with a lot of humor. Definitely some adult humor in there. Not. I'm gonna try to keep it to PG-13. Um, and I have like two story arcs I think planned out for this. I just gotta I just gotta flesh it out and balance it out, and then yeah, then that's gonna be ready to be drawn. So
That is so cool. I look forward to that because it's very reminiscent of the Mona Lisa. And like I said, that's what I bought from you is a Mona Lisa sketch. So that's really
yeah,
cool.
so Danny definitely is inspired by Mona Lisa. Um, and I like if you come find me at a show or something like that, I have a few stickers of her, like especially her early designs and everything. I've made her a lot more sleeker now, and yeah, I think she's just gonna be a really likable character along with some of the other characters I've made for this book. So if if I don't get into a lot of projects this year, I'm definitely gonna start working on this book.
The thing that surprised me is because I knew you a little bit from meeting you a little bit, and I'm like, I
Mhm.
know we're sympathetic. I know we're friends and stuff like that, but I couldn't pinpoint what I really liked about you as a person. And now you remind me of artist and writer Terry Moore, who does
Here.
Strangers in Paradise, does
Okay.
Rachel Rising, Echo, and all that. Strong
Mhm.
female characters like that that are drawn like spectacularly, and it's like you have kind of like that vision. You're like, well, this is the story I'm going to tell and kind of do it that way. And it's like I see that in you and like that element of creativity and like humor and stuff. So yeah, and I mean even a monkey, if you check out Motor Girl, there's a big monkey, so a gorilla. So
You know,
that's
I
kind of where I'm going.
I inadvertently grew up with a lot of Terry Moore stuff because whereas going back to I didn't have comics so
Hmm.
much, I had Wizard. Wizard was
Yes.
my comics. So,
Yeah.
and Wizard constantly had Terry Moore stuff in it, constantly, to the point where I'm like, what is this book even? But that was my comics. That was my access to comics was just Wizard magazine. So, um, I got a lot of my stuff, especially my early drawing influences and stuff from Wizard magazine. So it would make sense that some Terry Moore is in there.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
yeah. So you're going through and you're drawing, learn how to draw comics with Bart Sears, and
yep. I was just across the row from Bart Sears this past weekend. So
no kidding.
yeah,
Oh my God,
yeah.
dude, that's like a freaking dream come true. I was just like, wow. I did an interview one time with Jim McLaughlin from the letters, the editor, and I met Gareb Shamus one time, and I was like, Gareb, and he's like, I don't do that anymore. I'm like, okay. It was pretty fun. Man, Wizard Magazine, that's such a great one. Yeah, that's awesome. And I think that was one of the times we had like Madureira featuring on the covers for those, and he did like a Ninja Turtles cover for it. So like bringing everything full circle. So
Oh, that ninja, is that the one where like it's like super dark and really really
all
awesome? Like
red, all red masks too. Like you could take that now and put it on a cover and it would sell like it would sell out. Absolutely.
oh yeah, yeah. Man, now I want them to hire Joe to I mean he did a few covers more recently. He did for his buddy Ludo, he did a cover for Ghost Pepper, and that was oh, and he did the some of the new X-Men of Apocalypse covers too. And I'm like, this
Oh,
guy, this guy is gonna
I
break my wallet.
I just talked to Jeff Loeb maybe about like 2 months ago and stuff like that about this, and I'm like, man, you don't even know. And he goes, oh, I know, because people don't stop talking to me about X-Men of Apocalypse and all that. So he's like, I was well aware. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. It's like we're just like I have the whole action figure set behind me. I'm like Jeff. I don't know if you can see it. It's so it was exciting. So
So I had like in my comic collection, I have pretty much everything Joe Mad has ever done that's been published. And then when they announced that he was going to come and do variant covers for X-Men Apocalypse, I'm like, all right, well, I'll get those. And then they're like, but he's also doing a 1 in 50 Virgin, and then they're doing a 1 in 200
wow.
ratio black. I'm like, oh, one. Oh, okay. All right. I guess we're gonna have to get those. So far, I've gotten all of them.
That's great. And if you get them early, you know, it's funny too because I wonder if now, like with the influences and all that, you see these covers by guys like David Nakayama. It's like another person that kind of has that flair to it. I wonder if things would have been different if you had seen, some of these other guys back then, or would it just have been Madureira? I don't know.
I, I mean, David Nakayama is current. Like if I had to pick five current influences for current comic book artists, he would be in there. Also, for anyone here, if you ever get a chance to talk to him, super nice dude, very super
I've
awesome
not met
guy.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, you should have went to go meet him at C2E2. He was there. I wanted to
Oh,
go
no
get a
kidding.
chance to say hi to him. Him and I used to talk on Threads a lot. And when we finally got a chance to meet, we were talking artist shop for probably a good like 20 minutes before the show opened. But um, yeah, he there's a few of them out there that would definitely influence my style. Mirka Andolfo, she's another one. She's an Italian artist. The first work I got exposed to her was Unnatural.
Hmm.
It's like kind of like a action thriller horror romance story about like she has like her own anthro world of characters, and that's not usually a genre that I go down, but I was like, oh, this is the art style is interesting. It's kind of manga, it's kind of American comics. So I started reading it and I'm like, the art in this is phenomenal.
That's so cool. It's called
It
Unnatural. I've not heard of
un,
it. So
Unnatural. She also did a book, a miniseries through Image called Mercy.
okay,
She also has her own self-owned thing through Image called Sweet Paprika, which is
I know her
super.
then. Yeah, I
Yeah,
follow her on Instagram. Awesome
that
artwork.
that's super sexy. But for anyone that really wants to check out like what I think is some of her best work, Unnatural.
Oh, I'll definitely be checking that out. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so you mentioned two of the five influences. Who else you got?
Oh, Mateo Scalera. Um,
Okay, that's a good one.
yeah. He is probably a god among modern artists. That man, I I'm looking forward to his new Kickstarter book when that comes out because I did back it and I got the artist edition. And his pages he drew 1-to-1. So like so basically the size they come out in print is basically how he drew it. And I'm like, or the size he drew it, and I'm like, that is crazy. Um And who else? There's so many good artists out here right now that are in the game that is just uh crazy. So there's three. Um you had
Three
to put
works
me on the
too.
spot.
Three works
Yeah.
too. We don't have to.
You had to put me on the spot, didn't you?
I like
Like
I like that we got to talk about Nakayama because I do like I see that too, and I see kind of like when we were talking about like your version of color and how you have a good eye for color. I could see you doing something like that, like him, in kind of in your work, and
yeah, as
I could see
I,
that.
I if I had to think of anything in my style that I steal from him is definitely the way I do highlights.
Hmm.
I love the way he does highlights, and I've incorporated bits of that into my own.
I'm
So
sneaky
it's,
like that. I sneak up on you with little bits that. That's funny.
um,
Yeah. We're getting close to the end here, so I wanted to bug you about this as an artist, right? Because I'm sure as a person you eat pizza. Imagine that
oh,
you're an artist, which you are, and you're going to draw the turtles eating a pizza in a book. What toppings would you put on that pizza?
sausage, pepperoni, bacon, and basically meat lovers.
You pick the meat lovers, the Raphael special pizza, right? So
Oh, Raphael's my guy.
he's your
So
guy. Yeah. Okay.
he's my guy. So the definitely, I mean, that's my favorite pizza topping is meat lovers. Uh if I had to appease everyone else, I could just do pepperoni, but meat lovers, that's I think it makes one of the best pizzas out there.
I like that you didn't go simple and you're like, yeah, if I'm drawing it, I'm just gonna make the circles and make it pepperoni and all that. You're like, no,
Yeah,
we're adding bacon, damn it. Yeah.
yeah, we are adding bacon. I mean, more recently, we were in Chicago and I got to have deep dish from Pequod's.
Oh, you went to Pequod's. Okay.
We went to
World famous.
yeah, no. If I'm getting pizza in Chicago, I'm going to Pequod's.
You didn't get the deep dish pizza that they say is deep dish pizza at the show?
No, no, no. I will go across town and I will get Pequod's. If I could have meat lovers on that, I mean, one piece would probably feed an entire country, but
Mhm.
but man, that's top five. Just throwing this out there, top five pizzas I've ever had in my life.
And you're a
Hands
New
down.
York guy, so that's high praise. So,
Yeah, also in that top five is a New York pizza. And if you head down to New York City, right on the backside of Port Authority, there's a place on the street side called Two Bros Pizza. Also top
interesting.
five. New York
No
style
kidding.
pizza. It's so good.
That's
I do
awesome.
it's like $1.50 a slice for a cheese slice. I don't know if it's the pollution in New York City that makes it, but it's so good. It is
It's the
it
water. It's the quality of water that they have there that makes it special in
it,
comparison to
it
everywhere else in the world.
it's gotta be. It tastes so good. It has no
Yeah,
right being that good.
I, yeah, I'm with you. That's awesome. But so in terms of where you want people to follow you, I've got you on Instagram at the Art of Matt Flint. We've got
Yep.
your website, which is theartofmattflint.com. Where else do you
Mhm.
want people to find you?
You go to Facebook. You can go to Facebook and go to the Art of Matt Flint. You can find my logo. I'm pretty active, mostly on Instagram, Facebook, Threads. Those are going to be where you're going to find me the most. If any commission requests or whatever, you can go to theartofmattflint@gmail.com. I'm
Oh,
pretty
perfect.
responsive through email as well. Other than that, yeah, just follow my socials. I'm hoping I'm hoping sometime before the end of the year, maybe some kind of small online shop. Uh, so that way my website just isn't a mirror to get you to my socials.
Like a big
Um,
cartel or something?
yeah, something. I really gotta look through my options. Also, if you want to follow me on Whatnot and look up the Art of Matt Flint on Whatnot, there there's a chance before the end of the year I may start streaming on there.
Nice. Yeah, keep us posted on that. We'll share some links and all that.
Oh
That's
yeah,
awesome.
definitely.
That's
So
fantastic. Well, thanks for spending some time for talking Turtles, talking Star Wars, Star Trek, which I didn't even expect to talk. But this has been a lot of fun, and we'll have to get you back on sometime soon. And
yeah, for sure.
with that, folks, I'm gonna cut it here. It's stay tuned for our pizza recipe for all the audio listeners. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you for having me.
It's pizza time.
And now, in a segment that we call Pizza Time, where we discuss any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or pizza-related food, I give you Pizza Time. And now, for your pizza recipe of the day, sausage pizza with spinach salad. Active about 40 minutes, serves 4. For the pizza, 1 pound pizza dough at room temperature, all-purpose flour for dusting, 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, 1/2 pound sweet Italian sausage, casings removed, 3/4 cup of whole milk ricotta cheese, 1/2 cup shredded mozzarella cheese, 1/2 cup shredded provolone cheese, 1/3 cup grated Parmesan cheese, 2 cloves garlics, minced, 1/4 teaspoon dried oregano. For the salad, 1/2 small red onion, thinly sliced, 4 cups of baby spinach, about 2½ ounces, 1 small bulb of fennel, trimmed, cored, and thinly sliced, 1/2 cup chopped roasted red peppers, 3/4 cup quartered marinated artichoke hearts, drained and halved, 1 tablespoon of red wine vinegar, 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, kosher salt and freshly ground black pepper, red pepper flakes for topping. Step 1. Make the pizza. Place a pizza stone or inverted baking sheet on the lowest rack of the oven. Preheat for 475 degrees Fahrenheit. Stretch the pizza dough into an 11 by 15 inch rectangle on a floured piece of parchment paper. Trim any excess paper around the dough. Transfer the dough, on the parchment, to the pizza peel or another inverted baking sheet and slide the dough in parchment paper onto a hot stone. Bake until browned in spots about 10 to 15 minutes. Remove the crust from the oven. Step 2. Meanwhile, heat the olive oil in a medium skillet over medium-high heat. Add sausage and cook, breaking it up into pieces with a wooden spoon until no longer pink, about 4 minutes. Step 3. Spread the ricotta onto the hot crust, leaving a 1-inch border. Sprinkle with mozzarella, provolone, and parmesan. Top with the sausage and garlic. Return the pizza to the oven and bake until the cheese is bubbling, about 8 to 10 minutes. Sprinkle with oregano. Step 4. Meanwhile, make the salad. Soak the red onion in ice water for about 10 minutes, then drain. Toss the spinach, fennel, roasted red peppers, artichoke hearts, and red onion in a small bowl with vinegar, olive oil, and season with salt and pepper. Top the pizza with the salad and sprinkle with red pepper flakes. And that is your pizza recipe for the day, sausage pizza with spinach salad.
Cowabunga, dudes!
Thank you for listening to the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. This podcast has no affiliation with Eastman, Laird, Mirage Studios, IDW Studios, Archie Comics, Nickelodeon Studios, or Paramount. This podcast is a part of the Dorkening Podcast Network and the Collector's Maze Network, and is sponsored in part by Deadly Grounds Coffee, coffee to die for. Check out our other shows on thedorkening.com and thecollectorsmazenetwork.com. Epic Tales from the Sewers is recorded by Justin Cooper. Be sure to check out some of our other amazing shows on the Dorkening, like Splash Pages, Retro Redoctopus, Comics Paradox, The Dork Knight, Bear at Night Podcast, The Old Man Wade Show, Hooked on Movies, Token with the Dead, and The Wicked Horror Show. And check out the amazing shows on the Collector's Maze Network: The Creature Designer, Glyph Keepers, Cost for Hope, Road Tripvia, Realmcast, Eat, Drink, and Game, Floor Access, Scooby Addicts, A Cartridge and a Quest, Nerdless Miniatures, Welsh Wizarding Collector, and House of Geekery.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Greetings and shabibans. We are the Retro Redoctopus Cephala Podcast, a long-form bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good, but I don't know what all those words mean.
I think what Parasite Seed's trying to say is that on Retro Redoctopus, we explore a range of retro goodness, from toys, video games, and movies, to cartoons, and even snacks and school lunches.
Oh.
And we do it all with a positive spin, a slew of killer guests, and some very adult language.
And you know what else is cool?
No.
This crazy show is part of the Dorkening Podcast Network with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
What's that?
And if waiting 2 weeks for a new episode gives you a sad, know that we drop bonus episodes all the time, like the off-format Crow's Nest and an interview series we call The Brick.
You can listen to Retro Redoctopus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any app that's cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all the things that make growing up awesome.